Was Jesus deliberately vague about a prophetic timeline? What should we really be on guard against? Let's look at Luke 21. Right after Jesus describes scribes cheating widows, we're introduced to a generous widow. Did she give looking to God, not faulty men? Do we look to God in our flawed churches? And now he looked up and saw the wealthy putting their gifts into the temple treasury. And he saw a poor widow putting in 2 lepta coins, or mites. And he said, "Truly I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all of them. For they all contributed to the offering from their surplus, but she, from her poverty, put in all that she had to live on." Did Jesus prophesy events of 70 AD? Was the temple destroyed? Some of his disciples were remarking about how the temple was adorned with beautiful stones and with gifts dedicated to God. But Jesus said, "As for what you see here, the time will come when not one stone will be left on another. Every one of them will be thrown down." Did Jesus give times and dates for any final fulfillment of this prophecy? So they asked him, saying, "Teacher, but when will these things be? And what sign will there be when these things are about to take place?" And he said, "Take heed that you not be deceived. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I'm he,' and the time has drawn near. Therefore don't go after them. But when you hear of wars and commotions, don't be terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end will not come immediately." Did Jesus set dates or deliberately avoid specifics of a timeline? Then he added, "Nation will go to war against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There'll be earthquakes, and there'll be famines and plagues in many lands, and there'll be terrifying things and great miraculous signs from heaven." Would Christians suffer persecution and betrayal? How can some die, but not a hair on their heads perish? But before all these things, they'll lay their hands on you and will persecute you, delivering you up to synagogues and prisons, bringing you before kings and governors for my name's sake. It'll turn out as a testimony for you. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate beforehand how to answer. For I'll give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries will not be able to withstand or to contradict. You'll be handed over even by parents, brothers, relatives, and friends. They'll cause some of you to be put to death. You'll be hated by all men for my name's sake, and not a hair of your head will perish. Is salvation a process only complete at the end? How important is endurance? But the person who endures to the end will be saved. What would happen to Jerusalem? Will it happen again? When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then you'll know that its destruction is close at hand. At that time, those in Judea must flee to the mountains. Those in the city must escape, and those in the countryside mustn't enter the city. These are the days of punishment, when everything written will find its fulfillment. How terrible it will be at that time for women who are pregnant, or for women who are nursing their children. There'll be great agony on the earth, and angry judgment on this people. They'll fall by the edge of the sword, and be taken away as captives among all nations. Jerusalem will be plundered by Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are concluded. What else would happen? Is Jesus deliberately vague as to dates? Should we stand up straight and be brave? Strange things will happen to the sun, moon, and stars. The nations on earth will be afraid of the roaring sea and tides, and they won't know what to do. People will be so frightened that they'll faint because of what's happening to the world. Every power in the sky will be shaken. Then the Son of Man will be seen, coming in a cloud, with power and great glory. When all of this starts happening, stand up straight and be brave. you'll soon be set free. What did Jesus mean by the parable of the fig tree? Did Jesus mean a prototype and antitype generations? And he told them a parable. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. As soon as they come out in leaf, you see for yourselves and know that summer is already near. So also, when you see these things taking place, you know that the kingdom of God's near. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all has taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. What do prophecies like this warn us to be on guard about? Be on your guard, so that your minds are not dulled from carousing, drunkenness, and worries of life, or that day will come on you unexpectedly like a trap, for it will come on all who live on the face of the whole earth. Be alert at all times, praying that you may have strength to escape all these things that are going to take place, and to stand before the Son of Man. During the day he was teaching in the temple complex, but in the evening he would go out and spend the night on what's called the Mount of Olives. Then all the people would come early in the morning to hear him in the temple complex. Was Jesus deliberately vague about a prophetic timeline? What should we really be on guard against? You decide.